Okay, I am so excited. I am at NORWAC and I am talking to the legendary Adam Elenbaas of Nightlight Astrology. And I'm just so excited. So, Adam, one of the main things that I talk about on my podcast with my listeners is all about practical astrology for real
Sure.
life. So, how do you personally use astrology in your everyday life?
Yeah, I mean, because I prepare content every day, the preparation of content is I meditate every day before I prepare that content. So there's a lot of the content prep process that for me is actually like a meditation on the transits of the day or week. And that would that's for me that really is kind of a spiritual practice. But aside from that, it's less about predicting what's going to happen and then checking boxes that I get it right or wrong. And it's more about, I like to call it turning the archetypal jewel. So we've got, for example, Mars and Pluto are squaring in the sky right now. How can we think about Mars, Pluto? How can I start turning that jewel and all of the different images and metaphors and themes that come through those planets in their combination? And by raising my awareness of them, then when they appear in my experiences and the events of my life, I have more consciousness and I have more space to participate as opposed to getting pulled along by them. Because ancient astrologers, especially in the Indian tradition where planets were called grahas, which means grabbers, that the word in Sanskrit, graha, can mean to be grabbed or to grasp. So if we're consciously meditating on these archetypal fields as they unfold, then we have relational and participatory space. We have breathing room. If we're not, then we tend to get unconsciously dragged along by them. So to me, it's a way of raising consciousness, much more than it is about trying to figure out what's going to happen. Exactly.
I love that and being more intentional with the energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, totally switching gears. Which planet has caused the most chaos in your life?
Oh God. They all have different kinds of chaos,
That is such a fair statement.
Gosh, I would say, Pluto for me tends to be long, slow burns. Whereas the one that really brings chaos is Uranus. And I am thankful for, I can't say that Uranus has been like a bad thing at all. It's been good, but destabilizing, really, and
100%.
erratic and hard to predict. Pluto, you start feeling it coming. It's like the approach of a family gathering you got to think about for 2 weeks before everyone arrives at your house, and then you're dealing with the whole family and you think you're enlightened, but then you're not. And and Pluto's he lets you know you're coming. There's this ominous slow boil that starts happening. With Uranus, it feels more like, someone crazy knocks at your door and in 2 seconds you're in this wild encounter, So,
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
yeah.
Uranus has definitely come up before.
Yeah.
You kind of can't talk about any other planet when you're hearing chaos. You've got to at least mention that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear you on the Pluto slow burn.
Yeah. If I want to feel like I have no idea what's real or what's going on, maybe Neptune,
Yeah. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Oh my gosh, so funny. All right. And so last, what's your favorite astrology topic to talk about lately?
Saturn-Neptune. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction this year. I think for someone like myself, who I've been a meditator for 16, 17 years of my life now, a really regular practice that grounds me. When Saturn and Neptune get together in aspects, the reality of transcendental things or truths becomes a little more palpable. They become a little bit more concrete. And for me, that's really relieving. So I've experienced this transit as some harder things, but a lot of it has been very solid reminders that no, I'm walking a path home to source. I'm walking with spirit. Divinity is what my life is about. These core spiritual values for me, that this transit, even if it's difficult, makes so crystal clear. And it's okay, thank you. Because it really the Buddhist monks were walking across the country. They were walking to DC as Saturn and Neptune were getting together. And I think for a lot of people, you see the people in the streets who were greeting those monks, and everyone was like, look at the peace on these monks' faces and their bodies and the way that they're holding a kind of consciousness that we all know is possible, but we
Yeah.
forget, you know. And then you'd see people just weeping when they saw these monks, not because none of these people were Buddhists. They weren't, you know,
Yeah.
but they were seeing something that was real evidence that a transcendental focus is attainable. It's not a myth. It's not a movie. It can happen. And that's Saturn-Neptune. And I've been really, really loving working with this one this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hadn't really thought about it in those terms. So many times people are talking about the dissolving of structures
Yeah.
and what's falling
Yeah.
apart. But I love kind of putting it in the opposite spin,
Yeah.
you know, making faith real.
Yeah. Because that's what, I mean, obviously the other pieces are there too. The dissolution of structures and boundaries. And, but yeah, that piece of it for me has been the most exciting part. Yeah.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I am just so thrilled to be here talking with you
Yeah. Let's
and
do it
meeting
again.
you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Take care.